I'm Dr. Adeyemi Adeniyi, the #1 Bishop of Real Estate in Africa. What I do is I build estates, and by privilege, I'm the chairman of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, the Ogun State chapter. And I'm here to identify with my brother, Dr. Dayo Falade. I've known him for many years, and I've seen the consistency in the growth. Now, I know for sure that without any doubts, the sky is a starting point. I remember many years ago when he would come cover an event where I was privileged to be a speaker at the event, and I've watched him grow consistently. And that's one of the first things I'd like to say in this room today. Be consistent at what you are doing. Let me tell you something. If your face pops up on social media, on any broadcast channel, on TV, on a computer, if your face pops up, what is that thing that will come to the mind of people that you are? When you see the face of Messi, the footballer, without him wearing any jersey, what comes to mind is they want to talk about football. When you see the face of the whole-time basketballer, Michael Jordan, what comes to mind? You think basketball. If your face pops up, what comes to the mind of people? And that can only be achieved with the power of consistency. I remember many years ago when I wanted to set out to start talking about myself, my brand consultant asked me, he said, "Excuse me, sir, what would you like people to know you for?" I counsel on marriage and relationship, and at the same time I do real estate that time. And he said, "Go back and come back and give me a feedback. What exactly would you like people to know you for? Is it the real estate part or the marriage and relationship part?" I sat down. I said, "I have gone for apprenticeship program in real estate for 5 years and 3 months with my 2 hands at the back." That's one of the tips I'll be sharing with us. Many of the young people today, many SMEs, are not willing to humble themselves to learn from someone. It's a missing link. If you are too big to start small, you'll be too small to go big. I was an apprentice. I started with Property by Real Estate Investment Limited from Ojodu in Omole, and in the year 2008, and started out. It took me 5 years and 3 months. I did not resign to leave. I was told it was time for me to go and manifest all I've learned. And by today, God has helped me to give keys to not more than about 1,000 people. Houses, even properties in different parts of the world, not just in Nigeria, by His grace. I want to tell you something. Be consistent. I'll be as short as possible, but I won't spend too much time on those keys. They are keys. But I can tell you, no matter how big you are, if you get to the doorpost here and you want to come in, you are fat, you are lean, you are tall, you are small. If you don't have the key that will open the door, you'll be the most miserable. And you don't need one key to open the door to a house. You need many keys. So I'll be sharing different keys with us, as many of our speakers has also done today. Service is key. Let me start this way. Number one, put God first in all that you do as you set out in business. See, I am not one of those people that will come and remove God from his equation because I have a platform. I was a one-time conductor in Lagos. I was a one-time organizer in Lagos. I was a tutor to different children, moving from one house to the house, just to go to school. Today, by His grace, I have about 5 doctorate degrees. The same school I could not go. Now I have the privilege of helping people to go to school. I'll tell you something. Your background is not the reason why your back is on the ground. And I want you to know that you are the Joseph that people have been waiting for in your family. Never say that, why am I in this family? I just made a recent post on my social media handle. You can follow me, find me anywhere at Dr. Adeyemi Adeniyi, at Dr. Spell together, at Dr. Adeyemi Adeniyi. I just made a video of how I attempted suicide because of what? I wanted to travel overseas. You know, today, you see many young people who do this, unspeakable things. When you ask them why they want to kill themselves, the knowledge they lack is this: whatever you think is not enough today, you will still be a distributor of same tomorrow. I wanted to kill myself because I wanted to travel abroad. Many of my friends that traveled as a young upcoming guy. I was a organizer at that time, and I was saying, when will I become somebody in life? But by His grace, I always say it on many platforms, that if God had granted that wicked request of mine, they will have split my future for me when I get to heaven. And God will have told the angel in charge of beating to start flogging me. Why? Because I didn't know that inside of me are the seeds who are multinational citizens. Today, by His grace, our children don't carry only Nigerian passports. By His grace. And I wanted to die because I wanted to travel abroad. Today, when we set our targets in our organization, deal clinchers, we always tell people, if you do up to this much, we'll take you an unexpensive trip overseas. The same person that wanted to commit suicide because he wanted to travel abroad. By His grace, I don't travel alone. I go in convoy by His grace, fully boarded, paid for by the organization. The same boy that wanted to travel abroad. I need to talk about this because many young people contemplate suicide today. Why? For something that God has kept for them in reserve. It's just that all that you have today is what you need. What you don't have, you don't need it yet. No matter how much you love a 10-year-old son or daughter of yours, you can't hand over the key of a car to that child. Even though you love him or her, but it's not yet of age. God will not give you the key to a coffin. You must learn patience. You must go through the schools so that the blessing can last in your hand. I said, put God first in all you do. When you are setting out in business, God has built our company today called Bill Clinters from nothing to something, a multi-billion pounds empire today. By grace. Because when you write grace and you remove G from grace, the rest is race. You will be running on a treadmill without making motion. So, put God in your race. Business is spiritual. Let me tell you, everybody is using something. If you don't use something, somebody uses you for something. That's the truth. Because before many people will go out to do business, they lick something to talk to you. What are you licking? If you don't lick something, they will lick you. That's the truth. Number two, be a servant. Be a servant. That is, be willing to serve. If you need to volunteer, humble yourself. Go and serve. I just told you, 5 years and 3 months. The man who trained me by the grace of God is in my age bracket, but I don't look at age. It's just a game of numbers. God has sent him to me, and for me to access what he carries, I must humble myself. And today, by His grace, I was in a meeting with him. I'm talking about a man in his late 40s. He's a multi-billionaire, not making noise around. I was in a close-up meeting with him for 5 hours. Those are the kind of times we spend in our strategy meetings. And I was in a close-up with him, and we're talking about, he said, I am proud of you at what God has made out of your life. And that I'm proud to say you are the first son that have succeeded me in this industry as an estate developer. But it didn't come easy that way. I served. Before he released me in that organization, I was privileged to be given many things. I rose to become a director. He gave me a Range Rover Sport. I left in 2013 December. He gave me a Range Rover Sport of that model that year. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Eden when you are a servant. Don't be too big to serve. If you don't remain small in your own eyes, you can't be great. Today, by His grace, the case is not the same. I have people who are elderly than me who are serving me by grace. Because every deed is a seed. I also have planted a seed. Number 3, get mentorship. That new place you are going, someone else is just returning from there. There's nothing new under the sun. Get mentorship. Don't stop playing. Stop trying to experiment with the money that you are not even sure that will multiply. There are some people who have learned something about what you are doing. Get mentorship from them. Let me tell you, it may cost you something, but be willing to pay it. Hey. Number 4, don't borrow if possible. If possible. I didn't say you shouldn't borrow. If possible, if you can avoid it. It will put you under undue pressure. And one of my revered financial analysts told me that you don't borrow in an inconsistent economy. You are not sure of the next thing. Most of the things we use is dollar-rated. We depend on the foreign economy to survive. What if everything changed in the exchange rates? What happens to the lending rate? Number 5, be visible. Leverage on the power of social media. I remember the story of Reverend Adeyemi, the founder of Daystar Christian Center. He said, God, why are people not inviting me to come speak? You have loaded me with so much. And God said, they don't know you. He said, so God, what should I do? He said, start talking about what you do. And that was when he started Success Power many years ago. And as people were hearing him, they started inviting him. People were hearing, they started inviting him. Today, Daystar is one of the leading churches globally. Number 6, raise men. Raise men. God told me many years ago, He said, if you don't raise people, you'll soon be erased. Raise men. Raise men. Number 7, be serious with your business. Be serious with your business. I just shared with our leader here, the Commandant, while we were at lunch there. And I said, many of the young people I see today, I always tell many people, oh, tea ready. That's the truth. That's the truth. Thank you, sir. What am I saying? Somebody said, okay, one of our consultants in the UK said, Doctor, there's one woman I've been talking to who actually, my time is up. Yes, I'll go now. And he said, I want to actually have somebody who wants to buy into one of your projects in Nigeria, but she's been saying she's busy. How do I close this deal? I said, are you serious? She said, yes. Are you serious? Yes. Are you serious? She said 3 times. She said, yes. I said, please go to your system right now. She said, what should I do? I said, open to so-and-so website. Fast forward. I bought ticket right there while we were talking. I bought the ticket right there about 2 p.m. By 5:30, I was on my way to the airport immediately to catch a 5:30 p.m. flight to London. And what happened? The moment she took me into the house of the prospect, you can't say no. Because what if they say alone? She said, are you sure you came to Nigeria because of me? I said, I'm just coming from the airport. What happened? She bought that property cash. That is seriousness. And as business people, don't say you are too small. Apply for visas of different nations, even when the need has not arisen. Because you can't tell when you'll be needing it. You can start locally, but don't end local. Think global. We would have said a one-time conductor and a one-time organizer will be going for meetings. I can be here now, and the next flight, you see me without planning it. I just call my wife, the woman I sold to in that London, when she saw that drive, she installed me. She said, can you come over for a birthday in London? I want you to meet some of my friends for a birthday party. I bought the ticket, moved to London, and when I was going, I have a concept. I don't walk without something. So I was going for that event, and I bought a Rolex watch. I'm sure you have an idea of what Rolex costs. To go for a birthday event because they already told me the profile of the man. And I thought, what kind of gift can I give him? So I bought a Rolex watch as a birthday gift to him. The moment he collected it, he didn't open it. The following day, they called me. They said, sir, we saw your gift. It's one of the only gifts we received. And you came from Nigeria for it. Please see us in our house. When we sat down, they said, what can we do for you? I'm talking about March this year. I said, by His grace, you can only encourage us by buying into one of our projects. They said, oh, even though we don't need it, but because of you, we will buy. They paid cash in pounds. The only currency that has a surname. Let me stop here for now. Thank you. I mentioned the other time and I said about 80% of our properties are around the airports because of our target market. We have a niche. You can't be for everybody. So I've tried, this is my 16th year in the industry by His grace. Wow. And I've played at the different cadres, the low, the medium, and the high end. A number of times we discover that we'll do massive projects. In terms, when I say massive project, 50, 100 hectares, 150, 200 hectares. But we discover that the customers will be the one to determine when you have actually delivered. Because you have sold land to them, you are begging them to come and build. Some, they want to genuinely come and develop, but the capacity may not be there. So as long as they know that they are dealing with the right company, many of them go to sleep 5-10 years. And one thing I always tell my fellow developers, estate developers, is this: if you are developing an estate and you are into land sales only, if your customers have not built, then you have not delivered, because anything may still happen to the land and it is in your custody. So when I saw that business model, when Deal Clinters Realtors Limited started, now we said, let us see, because of the lessons I've learned from the man who trained me in real estate, God bless him. Now, I said, I don't want to focus on land only. The vision is to shift to the high end, because I've tried the low, the middle, and the high. And when we did 7 units of houses, luxury in Abuja, about 2010, the profit we made on just 7 units of houses catered or covered for 50 acres we did in Mowe Ofada. And we sold the 7 units of luxury in 3 weeks. And the Mowe Ofada 50 acres, we will need for almost 5 years. So, so we decided to say, let us face, because in all honesty, with all simplicity, I've attended various conferences globally. And one of those conferences, they told me, they said, you talk about affordability. How affordable is your affordability? And it's a big question. Is it right now that about 60 to 70%, now I'm speaking in the capacity of the chairman of Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, Ogun State Chapter, about 70% of the material you use in building, they are almost imported. So by the time you change your naira, you change it to dollars, what is left? So nonetheless, God took us from here to come up. That is the remaining 20%. And that's why we now do mass housing. As we speak right now, the Ogun State government, by His grace, under my leadership as a chairman, is trying to even give us land that are affordable, that people can even buy as low as less than ₦1 million. So, and they do direct allocation to us as a body. We will be the one selling to developers. Developers will be the one selling to the end users, just to be able to fill in that gap of let everybody be able to do that. So we do it, but it must be organized because of the length of time it takes to deliver. And when we do luxury properties, under 1 year, under 1.5 years, massive, you have delivered. And people, we have a project in the Kejaji right now. Sorry, man. The project is at, oh, okay, yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll just touch that. So we are the finishing stage of that project. It's for 15 families. finishing stage. At the second floor, it was all sold out. That is how we want to do business now. Nonetheless, we are still targeting low cost. You are interested in collaboration, we have the experience, we have the skill, and we even help you to even get the title from the government based on experience and our connectivity with the government. I started by going for events where I was given the platform to offer opportunities to people who are willing to come do real estate. And I got my first 13 staffs. While I was under my employer, they were directly working for me. How? It was at the point when I was invited to an event to come speak, and from there, I offered opportunities to them. They were final year students waiting for NYSC. And why waste away when you can productively engage your time? So I told them, before you go for NYC, you can come work with me. And so I trained them, and having trained them, those who were really interested, I began to give them leads. So instead of going to 50 places in a week for me, I can't kill myself. So I gave each one of them contacts, and they were the one pushing on the field. I started giving them stipends. We call it impressed. So per week, there's an amount they must get. And before I knew it, where I was making sales of them, we're selling only land 2008, 2009, where we're declaring like 5-10 plots sold per week. By His grace, I started declaring 500 plots sold per week through those collaborations. So I saw that little is much when God is in it. Those who go far in life, what they do is they go with people, right people. So you can't be everywhere. That's one of the good ways. And when you volunteer, you meet people. And when you meet them, people are willing to come to work with you. Make sure you don't hold them. When they sell for you, whatever is due to them under 24 hours, make sure you pay them. Once they have it, they will be your slaves for life. Wow.